Alright, hello everyone. Today I have a Kled build for you, but before I get into the actual build, I really want to talk about what Kled likes and what Kled doesn't like. Before, I don't know if you saw it, I was only up for a few minutes, I made a video talking about how Kled really likes attack speed. However, I don't know what's wrong with me, but it seems like I misremembered Kled's W. I thought that Kled's W gave attack speed and an on-hit effect, but it does not, it's just attack speed. So Kled does not like attack speed whatsoever. What Kled likes is on-hit effects which come from items which don't give attack speed, which seem to actually be, like on first glance, surprisingly rare, right? Like if you're thinking of an on-hit item, you're going to be thinking of a Nash's, you're going to be thinking um, of a, what's that, a Gwynsu's, you're going to be thinking of, I don't know, what else gives on-hit effects, you know? You're going to be thinking of attack speed items because in theory, if you're attacking a lot, you're going to want an item which gives you some sort of benefit from attacking a lot. However, if you look hard enough, you can find quite a few items which scale with on-hit or which give on-hit, but don't actually give any attack speed, which is what Kled loves. That's the first thing which I want to talk about. The second thing is Kled does not like bonus HP, Kled likes maximum HP. Kled has the highest maximum HP base of any champion in the game because there are effectively two of him, right? So Kled really likes having maximum HP scaling items. And the more I look into this, which is surprising, there are items which scale with a lot of different types of HP. For example, Blood Mail scales with bonus HP. Heartsteel only scales with bonus item HP. So for example, if you're on a Scion, going Heartsteel might not be the most logical option, because a lot of your bonus HP is coming from your passive, not from your items. But I digress, I don't want to get too much in the weeds about all of that, and I'll explain this build here and why I go all of the items. We'll go one item at a time and then I'll explain them after I say the item. So first here we have Titanic Hydra. Titanic Hydra is very good on Kled, firstly because Kled really needs wave clear. His wave clear is abysmal, some of the worst in the game, it's absolutely terrible. And Hydra really fixes that extremely well. Hydra is one of the best wave clear, Titanic Hydra is one of the best wave clear items in the game, because you're able to stand at the back of the wave and then clear it forward, instead of having to stand in the middle of the wave, for example, like you have to do on Ravenous, or having to stand closer to the wave like you have to do, for example, on a Profane. However, Profane's AoE is so big that you might not even have to stand that close to it. So that's the first benefit. The second benefit is that Titanic scales with maximum HP, not bonus HP, which means that you are fully maximizing Kled's passive, I guess it would be, his Skull and Kled passive, while going Titanic. So Titanic first is very good because you're able to push waves back and forth if you're in that sort of matchup. So yeah, very good, and scaled with maximum HP. So the second item here, a lot of you are going to be sort of rolling your eyes. Why in the world would we ever want to go Hullbreaker? So Hullbreaker is an extremely slept on item. Firstly, because it gives something which I spoke about, which Kled really likes, on-hit effects without any attack speed, which is exactly what Hullbreaker gives you. It gives you an auto attack. Your fifth auto attack has a special bonus because you are whatever it might be, because you have the item, right? So that's really good. The other thing is this bonus is based on maximum HP as well, which means similar to Titanic Hydra, you are getting the on-hit effect, no attack speed, and you are getting something which scales directly with your strongest asset, which is your HP. You could argue that his dismount is the strongest passive, but strongest aspect. However, I would say they're sort of one and the same, they're interlinked with one another. Not to mention, it makes you really good at taking towers, and Kled really likes taking towers because his W is very good at taking towers, unsurprisingly, right? The last thing, which is going to be relevant a bit later, is the movement speed which it gives you. This, in combination with another item which I'm going to be going into, means that you are going to have an insane amount of, well, not an insane amount, you're going to have movement speed equal to boots even if you don't have boots. The next item here which you're going to be going is Collector. There's no real reason why you're going Collector. It doesn't synergize particularly well with anything that Kled wants to do. It's just a very good item at the moment, right? Plus it gives you something which you want, which is crit before going the next two crit items which you can see on the screen there. So I guess I will go into why you want to go crit and why lethality is so nice on Kled. Kled really likes raw AD and he really likes lethality. This is mainly because his Q has two parts to it, and both of these parts have fairly good AD scalings if they hit a target, right? So the AD scalings are very nice on these two abilities. So having AD, very good. Collector gives you a fair amount of AD. When it comes to crit, like I spoke about at the beginning of this video, is in this circumstance at least, is a non attack speed on hit stat, which is what Kled loves. The next item here, what are these called? Yuntal Wind Blades or something like that? I think that's what it's called. Yuntal Wind Blades, I believe. So this item, extremely good. Why is it extremely good? I think this item is one of the best items in the game. It's absolutely insane. Every auto attack is going to be doing upwards of 10% extra damage just because you have this bleed item in your kit. It's so unbelievably good. This item also gives crit. It's very simple. It gives crit, it gives AD, it gives an on-hit effect which does not also come with attack speed, which once again Kled loves it, blah blah blah. We've heard this a million times. So that's why this item is good. Kled also likes the AD which it gives, obviously. Next item here would be Infinity. Sorry, I just hit my mic. The next item here would be Infinity Edge. Infinity Edge is just overpowered. It's just extremely good item. You get crit. I'm not going to go through the whole diatribe, but the increased damage on your crit is also extremely nice because obviously as Kled you're going to be mainly auto attacking, especially with this build, because this build does not have heavy amounts of CDR in it, which is going to be ameliorated by the last item, but it's a last item, so most games you're not going to get to it anyway, right? So that's Infinity Edge. You get a really nice passive increase in your crit damage, and you know, crit is the main thing which we like in this build because we're building so much crit. You have 100% crit at the end of this build, right? So the last item is going to be Flicker Blade, Navori Flicker Blade, whatever it's called, right? This item is not good. It's not a good item. So I'm sure you're thinking, well, what do I even call myself? Well, Orn's dad, or whatever my name is on this channel, I don't remember. Why would I be going an item which you say is bad? Surely I'd want to be going an item which is good. And to that I would say, no, right? This item synergizes nicely with your W, however the fact that it gives, I believe, no AD, and it gives just attack speed, means it synergizes, it also synergizes badly with your W. It has a dual synergy. You really like the passive, which lowers your cooldowns, but you really don't like the attack speed which it gives you, right? But you also do like the movement speed. The movement speed is very useful as well. The reason why this item is so good simply is because it gives you a reliable and good source of CDR whilst also giving you more crit. The crit is extremely beneficial because the crit synergizes nicely with your previous 3 items. However, if you want to go something else other than Flicker Blade, I completely understand. It is not paramount, it's not essential to the build, right? But I feel like it rounds out the build quite nicely. So, all in all, this build at the start, you're going to be getting a lot of HP, and then you're going to transition into getting a lot of damage. The reason why we go Titanic first is mainly for the wave clear. The reason why we go Hullbreaker second is because if you're wave clearing, you're going to be able to push in and then get a plate. If you have Demolish, which you're going to be taking like 10 times out of 10, you push the wave, proc Demolish, and then leave. Keep on doing that. You're going to be getting more gold. Since all of these crit items are fairly expensive apart from Flicker Blade, you're going to be needing a lot of gold in order to get these items. So the fact that you have this playstyle where you're effectively ramping up your gold from pure minions and tower plates means that all in all you're going to be, you know, having a good time in lane, even if you're not killing the opponent, which you are still able to do because, as I said previously, the on-hit effects which you're getting from your first 2 items work very nicely and give you a lot of damage, right? In terms of runes, you can go Conqueror, you can go PTA, or you can go Grasp. Any one of those work nicely together. If you are wondering why I am not going a lethality build here, is simply because the lethality build requires too much ability haste in my opinion. So Kled can play around 2 different things. You can either play around your W, which is mainly, or I guess you could say more generally, just your auto attacks, or you can play around your Q and your E and your W, right? So the thing about playing the second playstyle, where you're going more lethality, is that you're going to have to fit so many things into your kit which your character doesn't inherently scale with. Like there's no heavy synergy with Kled and lethality. They do synergize well together just because of Kled's high AD scalings, but there is no deeper synergy. For example, like all of these items, apart from Flickerblade, I guess, have a deep synergy with Kled, right? They give no attack speed and they give on-hit effects. The first two items scale with maximum HP, and they give non-AS, non-attack speed on-hit effects. These all synergize so nicely with Kled's W. Like everything in this build is based around Kled's W. And if you build like this, and then your W's up, you're never going to lose a trade. I don't know how you ever lose a trade with this build on Kled or 1v1. I don't know any champion who beats you in a 1v1 with these items on Kled, especially if you have your remount available, right? So that's that. If you want to go lethality, you're going to be stronger early, but then you're going to be significantly weaker late, and I think that's just a terrible combination, especially if you're playing in lower elo, because games go late, right? Plus you're going to have less pushing power, there's a lot of things, right? You're going to be more squishy, which you could argue doesn't really matter on Kled, but I think it does, because, you know, once you're dismounted, you don't just want to kind of be a sitting duck, you want to be able to remount, you want to be able to... Anyway. That's all that I have to say for this build. If you think I'm wrong, don't message me, don't comment, just keep your opinions to yourself, alright? Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.